Watch this. Here it is, verse 19. And when he saw the fig tree in the way, it slowed down his purpose. It said he came to it. Watch this. He came to it and found nothing on it. Okay, he came to it and he found nothing on it. Now, I want you to catch this. What's different about a fig tree is figs. Watch, the fig tree produces figs before they produce foliage. So a fig tree, watch this, it produces the figs, help me God, before it produces the leaves. Are you with me? So here it is. He came, watch this, and he found nothing there on it but leaves. It was serving no purpose. And there are some things, beloved, that we got to remove from our life that at this point are serving no purpose. Come on. There's some things, come on, I need you to catch this. There's some things that you got to remove from your life that literally serve no purpose in life. I need you to catch this, but because there's a thing that's called seasonal purpose. That there were some people and some things that were in your life for a season, and they gave purpose to your life for a season. But now, watch this, that season is gone. It no longer serves a purpose in your life because that was, watch this, seasonal. And so here it is, we have to get away from things that are serving no purpose in our life. Oh gosh, I don't know who I'm talking to, because here it is, you got to move it out of the way. You got to move it out of the way, number one, because it's slowing down your progress. You got to move that thing out of the way. Not only is it slowing down your progress, secondly, it's serving no purpose. Maybe it's that habit that you have. Maybe it's that attitude that you have. Maybe it's that disposition. Maybe it's that mindset. But here it is, you've got to move it out of the way because it's serving no purpose. But not only, watch this, did a tree have to be moved out of the way, number one, because it was slowing down the progress. Number two, watch this, it served no purpose. But then number three, are you with me? It was sitting there pretending, Lord have mercy, that it was pretending to be something that it was not. Here it is, I told you that a tree, by the time that it has leaves, a fig tree, it should have figs. So this particular tree sitting there, watch this now, full of leaves but has no figs. And that's how some things are in our life. Essentially, they are empty. On the outside, they look like they're full. On the outside, they look like they're beneficial, but they have no substance to them. And so watch this now. The tree is sitting there full of leaves. Help me, God. But it has no figs. And so watch this. Jesus says, let no fruit grow on you. Help me, God. And the tree then withered away. Are you with me on today? So this tree had to be moved out of the way. It had to be moved out of the way, number one, because it slowed down progress. God is telling me to tell you, to give you a word, that there's some things in our life. This is introspective. This is you and God. It has to be moved out of the way because it slows down our progress. It has to be moved out of the way because it's no longer serving a purpose. It has to be moved out of the way because it's sitting there pretending, acting like it's something that it's not. Oh God. And so here it is. Watch this. At the disciples, according to verse 20, they are marveled at the fact that Christ could speak to the tree. They're marveled at the fact that Christ has that kind of authority to get something in his that was in his way, that was sitting there, just not serving a purpose. Watch this, to remove it from his life. And God is telling me to tell you just how Christ spoke to the tree. God is telling us to speak to that trouble on today that is just sitting there. God is telling us to speak to that issue today that is just sitting there. God is just telling us to speak to that issue that has just been causing us problems day after day, month after month, year after year. God is telling me to tell you that the day is past and gone when you sit there and worry over a tree, because God says you have the power to speak to to the tree. And so watch this. Here it is. In the disciples in verse 20 now. They were marveled at how soon the fig tree went away. Jesus says to them in verse 21, he says, if you have faith and not doubt, can the church say not doubt? I want to let you know that faith, watch this, and doubt, help me God, do not align. Because wherever there's faith is, doubt cannot be present. That faith and doubt cannot exist at the same place at the same time. I'll say that again. I said that faith and doubt cannot exist at the same place at the same. Either you're going to be full of faith, or either you're going to let doubt have its way. In the beginning, doubt, watch this, and fear signed the same contract that light and dark signed. Light and dark signed the contract that says, where you are, I won't be. Because come on, you smart. It can't be light and dark at the same time. And just how it can't be light and dark, mother, at the same time, faith and fear cannot reside in the same person at the same time. So Jesus says to his disciples, he says, you have that kind of authority. You have that kind of power. You have that kind of faith. But there can't be any doubt in your mind. And God has sent me here, beloved, on preaching assignment just today, just to let you know that there can't be any more doubt in your mind. That you have to erase all doubt from your mind. That you're able to do it. You're able to achieve. You're able to conquer. You're able to overcome. But you got to erase the doubt from your mind. Would you do me a favor and shout in the atmosphere and say, I'm getting ready to erase the doubt from my mind. I don't care how big the task is. I don't care how monumental the task is. But you need to understand, beloved, that you got to erase the doubt from your mind. Come on, shout in the atmosphere and say, my doubt is getting ready to leave me today. And so here it is then. And verse 21, Jesus says, when you have faith and not doubt, he says, not only, help me God, will you do what is done to this fig tree, but then he says, you can say to the mountain, can the church say the mountain? He says to be removed and cast into the sea. I want you to see what Christ does. Watch this, Ashley. Christ makes a comparison. He compares, watch this, a fig tree to a mountain. Now, when you understand it, a fig tree is smaller than a mountain. A fig tree is nothing in comparison to a mountain. So essentially, Christ is saying, when you have that kind of faith in me, that kind of faith in me will build. That kind of faith in me will mature. And so you are able to deal with the fig tree on today. And he says, because you are able to deal with the fig tree on today, on tomorrow you should be able to speak in the same way to the mountain. And just how the fig tree withered, you should be able to speak to the mountain, and the mountain shall be removed. And I don't know who I'm talking to today. That's the kind of faith you got to have. You got to have the kind of faith that will remove doubt out of the way. Because if the truth be told, and it should be told, that doubt has plagued you long enough. That doubt has, watch this, slowed down your progress. It served no purpose. And it's been sitting there pretending. And so now, beloved, you've got to make up in your mind that as of today, I'm taking back everything that the devil stole from me. I'm taking back my joy. I'm taking back my peace. I'm taking back my self-worth. I'm taking back my self-esteem. I'm taking back the years that the locusts and the palmer worm have eaten. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but I believe today there's about 15, and I'll make 16, that made up in the mind that you're moving by faith, regardless of what people say, regardless of what the enemy throws at your way. You're made up in your mind that this is the day that you're going to move by faith. And so that's all I wanted to tell you, that you have the power to move it out of the way. And if you got radical faith, somebody shout in the atmosphere and say, get it out of my way. Come on, you ain't doing it the right way. Get out of my way. Get out of my life. I'm giving you an eviction notice. that you gotta go. And so I'm gonna get off right here. That's all I wanted to tell you. Bye-bye, y'all. See you next time. I just stopped by to tell you, be not too dismayed. Whatever betides, beneath his wings of love abide. I said, God, he will take care of you. And if you believe he will take care of you, do me a favor, turn to that neighbor and say, neighbor, I believe he will take care of me. That was the wrong neighbor. Find another neighbor and say, neighbor, I believe the Lord, he'll take care of me. I believe when I call his name, there's something about the name of Jesus. The more I call him, the better I feel. I can call him in the morning. I can call him at night. I can call him when things are not going well. And so then, since I can call him whenever I need, I've made up in my mind. I'm not going to doubt. I'm made up in my mind. I'm not going to fear. I'm made up in my mind. I'm not going to worry. But what I am, oh, shucks now. What I am going to do is I'm going to open up my mouth and begin speaking. I'm going to speak the stuff. I'm going to open up my mouth and use the authority that comes with my citizenship. Do me a favor and turn to that neighbor and say, neighbor, you got the power to call things as though they are. You got the power to put it in the atmosphere. You got the power to turn it around.